Hi, it's me, Heather. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to repaint this wooden sled that is my friend's. She bought it, I think at maybe a craft show or somewhere, and she doesn't really like the style of the snowman, and then she also wants the wood to be a lighter color. And she wants the scarf to be like a bluish gray and kind of be covering the mouth. So I'm going to do a repaint of this. So let's get started. Alright, so here I have the sled and I have my paints. So I'm using the Liquitex Basics, a couple different browns, and this is the Dick Blick White, and then this is my Liquitex Matte Medium. So a lot of times when I paint on wood, the paint will just really like soak right into the wood and you can't even blend it. So with the Liquitex Matte Medium, that really helps for that. So it kind of adds a lot more liquid to the paint, but it doesn't water it down. So that is a big help when painting on wood. This wood is pretty bare, so I don't think I need to sand it at all. Alright, so I'm going to start with this kind of big brush here, and I'm going to start by just getting some of this light brown here and a white. So she wants it to be a little bit of a lighter wood color, and then I'm going to get a little bit of that matte medium. So I have these three things on my brush, and I'm just going to go right onto it. That's like a lot lighter. I don't know if she wanted it that much lighter, so let's get a little bit of the darker color. I'll add that in. I'm just going to go right over the snowman, because I'm basically going to completely repaint him because she wasn't really happy with the style of the snowman either. Alright, so I'm going to try to keep it looking like wood. So the way that I'm going to do that is get a little bit of the dark and just do like some streaks with the dark and kind of mix it in with light streaks. So I'm going to get a little bit of white and do some lighter streaks, and then I'll get some more of my overall color. Do some of that. Okay, so now I'm all done painting my sled. I did the edges too. I just did those off camera because I didn't think it would be very interesting. So now I'm going to sketch my snowman. Alright, so I'm going to start with just his body. And then we're going to do his head. And she wanted a snowman that's just like two, just the body and just the head, not like, you know, multiple pieces of body. Alright, so I'm going to do the head here. And then she wanted the scarf to be like a thick scarf that's covering the mouth. So I'm going to make the scarf come up like this. Oh, and I'm drawing with chalk. So I'm doing this so if I mess up I can just wipe it off. If it's hard to get off, then I can just like use a wet finger and just wipe it off. So I like to use chalk for sketching a lot of times, especially on a canvas. Sometimes I use pencil if it's something specific that pencil is probably better, like a flower pot or something, but for the most part I like to use chalk. And I'm just going to wipe out this part where the head meets the body. Alright, so there's a nice cozy scarf. Maybe I'll do a couple layers like that. And then how about we have the scarf kind of blowing in the blowing in the wind a little bit. always like that. Okay. So there, I'll do 2 little tails here. And then also we'll do a little hat. So let's do a little, like a sideways kind of snowman hat. Maybe I was thinking if he's like, we could have him looking up, like that. Do a little brim of the hat. Maybe I'll make this brim come down a little more. Okay. So I think that's pretty good. And then I'll just worry about the arms later. So for now, I'll just do this. I'm not really sure he needs arms actually, but I think she wanted arms, so I'll probably do it anyways. Okay, now I'm gonna grab the same brush I was using before, the big one. And I'm going to start with some white. I got a little bit of black here also for some shading. So I'm just going to start with the base color though. Alright, so that's just the first coat of white, and then I will add another coat and do some shading later. But I'm going to go ahead and add, I'm going to do the scarf here. I'm going to use a smaller brush for that. Alright, so this is the brush that I'm going to use. She wants the scarf to be a grayish blue. So I got this blue here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of black to it. And then I'm going to take some white, mix some white with it. Let me get a little more black because it's not looking super grayish. There we go. Now it's looking pretty gray. Okay, that's pretty good. Maybe a little more white, make it a little lighter. Alright, so let's try this then. Alright, so I do want to just extend this part out a little bit now that I look at it because I made the scarf come out a lot. So just going to bring this part out a little bit. Alright, that's good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the hat. So for the hat, I'll do it black, but I'm going to do it actually like a dark gray, so that way we can have some lights and darks. So I'm going to get some black, and I'll get a little bit of white and mix it in. The top of the hat is going to be the lightest because that's going to be closest to the light source, which I guess could be the sun. Yeah. Or if it's nighttime, it would be the moon. So then I'm going to go a little bit darker on the side, so I'll just add a little more black to what I already have here. Alright, and then since the brim of the hat is also facing the light source, we want that to be a little bit lighter as well. Actually, I'm thinking I want this hat to be a little taller, so I'm going to bring the side up a little bit. Okay, now we'll do the brim, so I'm going to do some white with black again. Alright, I'm actually going to make the hat a little bit taller by just bringing this part down into the brim. Alright, so I'm going to use this brush to do the nose. This is just a 5 round. I'm going to take a little bit of white, mix it with my orange, and I'm going to add a little bit of yellow because this orange is like super orangey. Has kind of more, it's more on the reddish kind of a side. So I'm just going to mix some yellow with it. And then do this nose. So I'm going to leave that coat to dry, and then later I'll add some more details to it. Alright, and then I want to add some little fringe on the end of the scarf here. Oh, I also just need to fill in this little part right here. It doesn't go all the way up to the hat. Okay, so there's that, and then I'm going to do my little fringe. When I do fringe, I like to do some darks and some lights, so that it kind of mimics like the shadows, and you know, some of the little pieces of fringe are going to be in front of others, so some will look lighter and darker. So these are my darker ones. And then I'm going to mix a little bit of white with my bluish gray. Make it a little lighter. Maybe a little even lighter than that. Okay, and then I'll go back over with some more darker ones. Okay, so there's my fringe. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the second coat of the white. So I have my big brush here. And then I'm going to just get some of my white. And now I want to add a little bit of shading. So I have white all up here, and I'm just going to do a little bit of gray down here. So I'm going to take a little bit of black and mix it with some white. We don't need it to be really dark because it's just going to be a little bit of shading. So I'll go right on here. And I'm just kind of brushing with the curve of the snowman. Oops, I got a little extra here. So I'm just going to use a wet brush to pick it up. Okay, so here's my nice shading. Just make sure it goes all the way out to the edge here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to do the head. So for the head, I will use the smaller flat brush. I'm going to get some white. Went a little out of the line here. Okay. Alright, so now I filled that in, and now I can add some shading. Actually, I went a little out of the line here too. Okay. So I'm just going to get some of this gray here, go right along this bottom line here. It doesn't really look dark enough. I'll put a little more. Okay. So I don't know, that still isn't showing up much to me. There we go. Alright, so there's my shading. Now let's go over the nose again. I'm going to add a little more white to this and maybe add a little more orange to my mix here. And then I'm going to go right into the white. Do a little highlight here. And then let's also bring the highlight down so we have our little, like the little lines in the carrot. There. Alright, so now we can go ahead and add the arms. Which you wanted those to be black. So I'm going to get a little bit of white, mix it with my black, so that I have more of like a dark gray. I'm going to start maybe like about here is like where the shoulder would be. Do a nice little branch coming off. And then I'm going to make it thicker. But it's going to get thin as it goes towards the ends of the branch. Alright, and then my other one is kind of coming out here. It's on the other side of him, so you don't see where it connects. Let me just make this a little bigger here. Alright, so you don't really see where it connects, but it's going to kind of come out here, maybe? Like that? Yeah, that seems about right. And then let's give them a little extra branch here. Okay, so there's our snowman. We might want to add snow, I'm not totally sure. I'll think about that a little bit. But the other thing is that it had some words up here at the top. I believe it said welcome. So I'm going to add that in as well. So I confirmed it did say welcome. So I'm going to do some of my lettering here. Also, it was really hard to see, so you might not even have seen the words before, because it was like the wood was really dark, and then the words, I think they were in red, and they were really hard to see. I'm going to start with my chalk and just write it out. Let's see, I'm going to find the middle letter, W-E-L-C-O-M-E, so it has 7 letters, so the C would be the middle letter. I'm going to put that here. Okay, and then let's see, what color should we do it? I'm thinking probably the grayish blue, so it kind of goes with the scarf. Alright, so let me just mix up a little more of this. Alright, and then when I go over these letters, I want it to be thick on the downstroke, and then thin on the upstroke. So like when you're writing, if you were writing like with a pencil, like wherever you would go down, it's going to be thick. Okay, so there's my little welcome, and then I'm just going to rub out the chalk. I don't know. I'm thinking it maybe could use some snow. Yeah, I think I'm going to add snow. Alright, so I'm just going to get a little bit of white and my number 5, and I'm just going to do some little snowflakes here. So here's the finished piece. I hope you had fun watching this repaint. Let me know in the comments if you think I made it better or did I make it worse. Let me know what you think. I hope you had fun watching this. Thanks for joining me. Bye.